died at 70 years old. Ironic. We Americans are living longer. Men, we can get into our late 70s. Women, we can cross the 80 threshold. So, but our heart is what make it happen. So, our topic today, I guess, combating for this entire seminar, combating American #1 killer. And this presentation is about reversing cardiovascular disease. Okay? This morning we spoke about prevention. Yesterday we spoke about heart failure, and we demo how to prolong life by CPR until emergency occur. And of course, part 3, final presentation, is reversing heart disease. Okay, why this topic? Most heart problem occurs at home. The crisis starts at home. 366,000. I don't know why I can't do this. People died at home from heart disease. Let me see. 366,192. By the way, I have difficulty with small numbers because I used to work with billions of dollars. When I was an industry leader, my petty cash was $2 million a year. And my impact was $100 billion. And I managed $2 billion. So small numbers, I tend to have difficulty when I'm talking in public on that. When I'm teaching, it's no problem. Okay? So high blood pressure, hypertension, we know have issues with our heart. And we need to control that. Because so many people died at home, okay, and the fact that we can prolong that with CPR allows us to realize that heart disease is something that we can prevent. Because if we don't do CPR, 90% of the people will die, pretty much. Because CPR extends our survival rate. And yesterday, I guess everyone was here except, were you here, my brother, yesterday? Okay, so you missed the CPR demonstration. And I suggest that this church and all group, and they're working on it, be certified with CPR, okay? And CPR is basically, if you see someone unresponsive, you call 911. Only have one side on this, by the way, okay? You start CPR. Okay, nowadays you use an IED. It's a device that allows you to do what they do in the hospital. They train you on that now. When I used to teach it, we never used that, but now it's the training. Okay, and you get emergency response going, hospital care, and recovery. Those are the stages that occur, and time is very important. Within 4 to 20 minutes, if care is not happening, we die. And that's why over 700,000 Americans die every year from heart attack, from heart disease. Okay? All right. Heart disease reversal in the U.S. 2025. No one is talking about that, but everyone now is looking into it because it's happening. Folks are actually making it happen without drugs and surgery. In America, about 7,487,000 Americans have coronary heart disease in America. In other words, over 7.5 million people have heart disease in America. Okay? And that's a lot of people in America alone. In Florida, where my primary residence is, 1.5 million of those people, that the 17 million, have heart disease, of coronary heart disease. Georgia, since I'm in Georgia. Less than Florida. A third less. 1/3 of Floridians. Okay, you have only 1/3 incident than Floridians. Why is that so? No, there's more old people in Florida. I was forbidden to say that until I got old. It was not politically correct to say old people until I got old, because I got perks as an old person. Okay, all right. Now, I'm going to talk about, because of the 7.5 million people having coronary heart disease, and a good percent of them are first time, but a lot of them still are repeaters. Okay? And once you get it, you're put on medication for the rest of your life. Doctor will never take you off that, because they believe that it is incurable. I don't know why this is not staying. Is it me? Okay. The doctors believe, because we're in a sick care society, we treat illness. We do not prevent or reverse illness. Okay. If it happens, it's considered a miracle. Okay. And the doctors still keep you on medication for the rest of your life. I know people who are still on medication for hypertension, and every time they take the medication, their blood pressure goes way below what it should be. So we need to look into our own mind and body and decide what to do. Okay. What I'm going to present to you, even though it's happening and it's evidence-based, consult your health care provider before trying these diets. I'm going to present 2 diets that actually reverse heart disease. It's recognized, the Medicare pays for it, and the health care will pay for these treatments. Okay? But they're very extreme. Okay? I need to say this up front, because I'm not advocating that you go home and start doing this. If you start doing these diets, I'm going to present 2 strategies. I suggest you talk with, or you work with your doctor to monitor things. Okay? Because a lot of folks have, once I mentioned something about raw food, just a brief mention, an entire family started eating raw. Within, I think, less than a week, they were struggling at school and sleeping and all that stuff, and they had to actually, and they blamed me, and I said, no, it's just a brief mention about raw as a possible diet. Okay, so what I'm going to talk to you about is, and you're going to see warning all the time, because I tell you it's what's going on, but we need to do it under supervision for medical facility. I told you that Dr. Dean Ornish, lifestyle medical at UCLA University Medical School, actually as a lifestyle medicine. And he was actually preventing heart disease, or helping folks recover from heart disease. But his program was so successful that he was able to reverse heart disease. So his book was Preventing Heart Disease in the beginning, and after many years and thousands of people who have actually gone through this program, he now can say reversing heart disease. Okay? And these are the things that he does. Okay? Diet, plant-based diet, and I'm going to share with you his diet. I'm going to focus on the diet today. Exercise, manage stress, relationship, sleep, and no tobacco. And by the way, most of these programs, when they put you on the diet, they provide you with the diet. The food is sent to you at home. You warm it up or whatever, but you do not cook or whatever. They actually, you could go to a place where you can eat, or you could go to the center where they actually feed you. So they actually monitor in a regimental way the situation. So you're literally almost in a hospital setting, even though you sleep at home. Okay? So these are very, very strict and robust program. So Dr. Dean Ornish's program in terms of diet, they call it the Ornish diet, He emphasized certain things, and he says avoid certain things. I'm going to go to the specifics, okay? He emphasized fruits, vegetables, all grains, legumes as peas, dairy and eggs, okay? But egg white, not egg yolk, okay? And low-fat dairy, okay? He says avoid fats, red meat, fish, chicken, nuts and seeds, processed food altogether, and alcohol, okay? He doesn't, because remember, you start out at this program, he doesn't give you these things, he said avoid. But when you go home, because we are stubborn people, and we have habits that's been going on for over 60, 70 years, he just said avoid these things or limit your intake of them. Again, caution your physician before you follow. You're going to see that all the time. Once you see it in red, I'm not going to say it, just know it's there, okay? The Ornish diet is a vegetarian diet that's low in fat, refined sugar, and animal protein. It doesn't label food as good or bad, and there are no restriction on calories unless you're trying to lose weight. So it doesn't focus on weight loss. Part 2. It does, however, eliminate meat, poultry, and fish when you are at the center. But when you go home, it says limit, try not to, he can't control you when you go home. It encourages you to fill up on fruits, vegetables, whole grain, legumes, soya products, non-fat dairy, and egg white instead. Okay? No egg yolk. And avoid the eye of the egg, the seed that makes the chicken. Okay? So that's the Dean Ornish diet. Any question on that before I go to the next? Okay, no protein from animal product. Limit animal product protein. But you get protein from egg white, and you get from legumes. You get protein from low-fat dairy. From like cheese, low-fat cheese. Okay, because of the fat. Nuts is high in fat, saturated fat, especially peanuts. A lot of people eat more peanuts than any other nuts, like say in America. And it's very, very high in fat and have other issues. That's what he says. But it allows you to eat a handful of nut. But we cannot eat a handful of nut, we human beings. A bag of nuts or a can of nuts in one sitting while we watch our favorite TV show. No, all nuts. Yes, all nuts. He said limit. It doesn't say don't eat it. He limits, but he said just a handful of nuts. And most of the science says that nut is good. That's where you get your fats and your omegas and such, especially walnuts. When you eat nuts unsalted, because a lot of people have nuts with salt, so nut can be dangerous, depends on whether it's salty, whether it's vegetable oils, all of that stuff. So he said limits, and then when you go to the center, you'll see that you have cashew mixed nuts with no oils, no salt, just pure, and you get like not even a handful. From your communion, by the way, I saw it there. This is the amount of nuts you eat per day. And you can't do that. You got to be a bag of nuts or a can of nuts, right? And that's why he focused on the limitation of that. Okay. Any other question? That's the Ornish diet. I'm going to move on to another diet that I got wind of long before Dean Ornish did his thing. Dr. Esselstyn, he has a book called Reversing Heart Disease, America's #1 Killer. And by the way, you could get all of these books on Amazon. And he started this way before Dean Ornish did his thing, his Lifestyle Medicine Center. Okay? And Dr. Esselstyn is a heart disease program in Cleveland Clinic. Okay, it's based on research. Basically, what happened is this. He actually was a cardiologist that actually were doing heart transplants and radical heart surgery. He did that for most of his life, his career. He grew up on a farm. He had cattle, he ate meat and all that stuff. But he was very good with his diet. He decided to try in his own, try the right diet, do exercise, maintain a good weight, all of that stuff. Now, Dr. Dean Ornish, what he did was he was making a lot of money, millionaire, multimillionaire, from doing all these very expensive surgery. And he discovered that a couple of years after treatment or heart disease and heart problem was dealt with from surgery and drugs, patients were returning with the same condition. And he said, wow, I'm making a lot of money, but I'm not really helping my patients. So he hooked up with some folks from a China study and all of that, looking at countries where there was no heart disease, why certain situation was like what it was in terms of heart problems in different countries. And he decided to try, through the Cleveland Clinic, try a different program, a different approach. And he came up with a diet that was able to reverse heart disease. So he started with a small amount of patients. Okay, 5 to 25 patients came to him, initial study. Okay, they told by the cardiologist they had less than a year to live. So the other cardiologist says, I'm going to give you these guys, within a year they're going to die. So he said, okay, all right, I could work with them. 12 years later, every single one of them survived on the program that he put them on. Okay? And no symptom of heart, they have having a heart problem. Okay? When I saw that, I followed that for the past 15 years. And it's just success after success. Thousands of 1,000 people who go to this program. It's very, very strict. It's very, very, strict program. Okay? And typically, once you start the program, usually within 2 months, you are pretty much cured. And you can start on a path. Okay? But it's very daunting. It's very intimidating. It's very scary for a lot of people to do that. But I know people who can change. But a lot of folks, they need motivation. And it's hard to do that when you're in a home where they don't have the support. Yeah. So he has a cookbook. Where's our sister Brenda? It's a nice cookbook to give out. Preventing and Reversing Heart Disease Cookbook. He has a cookbook that shows you the diet that he feeds his people. And in his program, once you're on the program for that 8 or so weeks or 12 weeks, you don't cook your own food. Food is delivered to you. You just warm it up and consume it. Okay? And it's mostly water that you drink. Very, very strict. All right, so let's get to the diet. Okay? Pretty much, his diet will lower your cholesterol. Okay? Think about it, 2 months, your cholesterol is gone. It lowers really. Okay, you have no cardiac event, no heart problem, no failure, nothing going on with your heart that's bad. Okay, during that time. And they follow you up every 12 years. They follow up the thing. Okay, your cardiogram, whatever the analysis is on the heart, is looking so good to the point where it's documented as it is heart disease reversal. In other words, it's scientifically considered that you no longer have heart problem. Okay? All right. Let's just go simple here. The food he wants you to eat. Vegetables, all types and variety. And I suggest to people when I'm teaching this in different countries and different places, eat what's in season. we were in Africa, and we're vegetarians and plant-based people. And I went to the market every day because there was no refrigerator. And at nights, creatures will come and get whatever food from where you were cooking. So I cook and we eat that day, everything. Okay. And I would buy, I like my cabbage, my broccoli. I couldn't get it in Africa, okay, because that's not native and seasonal when we were there. But whatever vegetables they had, I asked the people, how do you cook this? And we add that every day. And I went to the market and tried to, vary it up. Sweet potatoes, I love sweet potatoes. We couldn't get sweet potatoes in Africa. But I found other things that could substitute for that. Okay? So variety, seasonal. And when you do that, you find that the cost kind of is reduced. All food that is actually picked from the trees, if you can get it, ripened from the trees. All fruits, okay, not in a can, not frozen, real things that you can see and draw pictures of. Good stuff. Okay, all grains like oats and wheat bread and all that stuff, all wheat bread. No white flour. No white sugar, no sugar altogether, eliminate sugar. Okay? No white bread, no white rice. And some of the program actually doesn't give you a lot of rice. Quinoa, it may give you, those type of food, but it limits a lot of the problems that are not all grains. And fill you up with beans and legumes that we had today. Thanks to our sisters in the kitchen, our brothers maybe, that added to that delicious meal. Okay? And that's pretty much the essence of his diet. He added to this diet, a few things. And these are the things that he had. So number one, a nutritional yeast, okay, to give it, for flavor purposes. Okay? And nutritional yeast is a complete protein with all the amino acids and such. Fiber gives you B vitamins. You fortify with B vitamins because a lot of folks, even people who are meat eaters, you get B12 vitamins from meat. But our gut, there's a coenzyme in our gut that processes the B vitamin because B vitamin needs a bacteria in the field for it to happen. And it's a very essential element for brain and heart health. So you get B vitamin. If you're not getting it, you fortify. A lot of even meat eaters who eat food that may have B12 have issues because they don't have, over the years, things that they've eaten, sugar and such, have destroyed the enzyme, the coenzyme needed to process B12 in the body. So some people need to add a B12 to their diet. Vegans, strictly plant-based people are encouraged to do that because we don't eat meat that has dirt in it that has B12 in it. Okay, so B vitamins, you need to supplement that if you're a vegan, or if you notice it's very expensive to test, so most doctors don't test. They just see the symptom and then they suggest, add some B vitamins to your thing. Okay, its food contains low fat. Okay. Low fat, low energy, low calories. It's pretty much his take on this. Okay. He also encouraged you to add in his diet chia seeds, which is higher in omega-3, and flax seed. As you know, we get our food from the air, oxygen, nitrogen. We get our food from the earth, minerals, the protein from the vegetables and the food we eat. And we get our omegas and fats and certain elements from the sea. So people who eat fish will get their omega-3s. Flaxseed have omega in it, omega-3. However, when the omega that the omega-3 that the flaxseed have, very essential element, we must have it, or else brain and heart start having dysfunction. The flax and the chia seed, even the walnut that has omega-3, it's ALA, alpha-linolic acid. It's a single chain omega-3. But when it gets to the body takes that and converts it into a long chain, DHA and EPA. Okay? When you eat food like fish, they already have that in it. So when you eat fish, for example, you get your long chain acid. Your body will actually convert flaxseed into the long chain that goes to your brain and your heart and do the necessary function. However, a lot of vegan, some people, when we test their stomach, we find they don't have the coenzyme to process the flaxseed and the chia fast enough to give you enough long chain omega-3. So we always encourage people to get it from, say, algae, get the long chain omega. So we, being vegan, take supplements, okay, to compensate for that. Even though we eat a lot of flax and walnut, and we used to have 8 pecan trees, and now we have 2 in our yard. We tend to supplement. So he actually supplements the omegas in the flax and the chia. But he does it in a way, and the way he cook it and stuff, encourage the body to make the long chain stuff. Okay? And that's very, very tricky to do. Okay? And even though I'm a chef, sometimes I find ways to try to get it there. But I know that, it's very, very difficult to do. But he, in his diet, will have you do that. Now, foods to avoid. He avoids in his diet, remember, warning. No fish, no chicken, no pork, no beef. No animal meat whatsoever. And remember, he's reversing a condition where a doctor says you're going to die in a year. Okay? But old habits are hard to break. We actually had a guy his doctor told him, he put him on this diet. The doctor put him on this diet. And it wasn't Dr. Esselton in a foreign country. And the doctor says, do not eat fish, do not eat chicken, do not eat meat, do not eat beef, all of that stuff. Sorry, I'm coughing and I'm talking. So we went on a picnic. So the Sabbath I did the seminar in Hart. We went on a picnic the Sunday. And of course, picnic, the fried chicken, all of that stuff. We saw him eating exactly what the doctor said he couldn't eat. So I said to him, what's going on here? He says, man, for 70 years I've been eating this thing. I'm just going to celebrate because I'm making progress. We had a fellow that had pancreatic cancer. And the doctor sent him home to die. He was suffering in the hospital. We went to visit him. He came out of the hospital, and I put him on a hemp and certain diet, and he actually recovered. He was in pain, went home to die. We saw him walking in the mall, enjoying himself, he and his wife. And he went out to celebrate and a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken. He died within a couple of days. Okay? Because his pancreas and some of his organs couldn't handle that shock. Some of us are 1 meal away from death, and we don't know it, as you saw in the video yesterday. Okay? He does something that's very, very drastic, and it works for him. And he, when you see him and you ask him, he's just adamant on this. No oil whatsoever. Not even olive oil he includes in his diet. Okay? When I have heart patients that are in my care, okay, I literally cook without oil. Now we have this air fryer thing that can do wonders. So if you have coronary heart disease and you want to avoid oil, there's air fryer thing you can use. Okay. He eliminates all dairy products, including fat-free. While Courney says, yeah, fat-free, he says no. And that's why he's able to be successful. And a lot of time, you recover. And we have patients who he has had for over 30 years that have actually stayed on that lifestyle, exercise and diet program that literally have not gotten any cardiac event from starting this program. So within months of this program, we reversed the heart disease problem, and then for years, 12, 30 years, because you follow for 12 years once you're on this program, and for 30 years, they're still free from that disease. And of course, when I talk to some of these patients, they can't even, if a grain of salt is in their food, the body notices it. If a sugar is too much sugar in the lemonade, they notice it. Okay? If there's fat in the food, they have mucus in their stomach, in their throat. They feel it because the body is so efficient because of this diet that they have. So it's drastic. Consult your physician again, but it's very good. Now, there's a caution that he gives, and there's a lot of people, when he hear this caution, said, nah, it's not for me. My brother was with me from New York. That's a fish eater. He loves fish. He loves his fish. And when he saw this presentation, he said, no, my brother, no, my brother. No. This is the next thing he says. Avoid, in general, no nuts, no avocado. Oh, boy. He went crazy when I said no avocado. Small amount are fine, he said, with individuals with no diagnosed heart disease or cholesterol-lowering medication. So if they're not on statin or any type of cholesterol situation, then you could probably have your avocado and you have your nuts. I'm a nut eater and I'm an avocado guy. That's my butter, avocado. Okay? It's oil, yes. You literally eliminate oil completely from your diet. So if you meet someone that has had a heart attack, triple bypass thing, by the way, he says this, but we have a fellow somewhere in a church that we visit regularly that the doctor put him on no oil diet. Not even nuts, not even avocado. So his recommendation is not unique, but I'm just sharing this one thing. Water. You steam, you can cook. You can even cook. You put everything in the pot, a little water, cover it up, steam it. Okay. It's just that we like that fried chicken. We like that taste of oil. Burning flesh. We like burning flesh. We like to eat burning flesh. And by the way, we did a scientific study on that. Why people like burning flesh. It's a smell. Okay. When you're eating, if we were to block your smell, all food tastes the same. There's no taste. You know that. If we remove the sense of smell, you could eat cardboard and it tastes like chicken. Or chicken and it tastes like, you don't know the difference between chicken and cardboard. That was amazing. That's just, when you're done the science, you kind of learn different things. All right, here's the other thing to avoid. Avoid all kind of juice, smoothies, coconut. And I was giving my brother for 10 days smoothies every day. But he didn't have a heart disease. He didn't have coronary heart disease. So I could do that, right? But when you are in that, 1 year to live situation, He tells you avoid all juice, drink water, smoothies, coconuts, and its product, avocado, nuts. At that time, my brother was ready to leave the room. Yes, ma'am. Seek medical help. They started putting high fructose corn syrup in the sodas. And of course, glucose, which was once what they used in sodas, was affecting the brain. But the high fructose corn syrup is doing something else to the body that makes you crave it more. Okay? And that's why a lot of time when you drink it, the body processes so fast, and you want to do it again. Okay? Or you want to drink a lot. And now the habit, remember when I was in school, our drink was smaller than this. Now it's supersized, extra large, extra large. Okay? Sugar, loaded with sugar. So we are addicted. We're an addicted nation. Yes. Sugar diabetes. It moves towards a sugar diabetes situation. And diabetes, some people believe theory is sugar, some believe it's fat. Okay? So it's a combination of those two things. And there are three ingredients that controls your gut and your brain. Sugar, salt, and fat. Any food that have sugar, salt, and fat, fast food, you're going to crave it in a way that you must have it at any price. And right now the price is very, very cheap. You can get those three things in a meal in America for little or nothing. Sugar, salt, and fat. Once they do that, they control your taste, and you're hooked for life. You'll become an addict. Sugar, salt, and fat. Okay. Seek medical help. Coke Zero but it has artificial sweetener that goes to different part of the body, that makes a different part of the body. So you pretty much has to wean yourself off it. And when I said seek medical help, I mean, you're going to crash. You'll literally crash and go crazy if you were like breaking a cigarette habit when you try to do that. That's why I said you got to seek medical help. Because you have an addiction, and addiction cannot be treated with words. You must be under supervision and care, or a program that takes care of that. They're different. They're different addictions, and they have their different thing. One goes to the brain, one goes to the heart and the brain, one goes to the gut. And the gut has bacteria that controls the brain. That gut you have, that stomach you have there, it deals with fullness and it deals with nutrient. So it looks at nutrient dense, looks at fullness. And the foods today has no nutrient, and they're full, but they have no, they full your gut, make you think you're full, or some of them will put a temporary fullness on your, like monosodium glutamate that's in most fast food, Chinese food. Well, when you eat it, you feel full right away. Within 30 minutes, you're hungry again. Okay? So it's a brain-gut thing going on there. And addiction is very, very hard to break. Okay. Things to avoid, number 2. It's getting worse. My sister, limit intake of sugar in all forms. Soya products, high-sodium food, all of that. No sugar. No soya. That's what his diet does. Okay. I mentioned this diet, spend time on this because we know it works. Okay? And I've been to other countries and been to doctors in Florida and such where people have had heart attack, triple bypass surgery, a lot of coronary event where doctor says, you're going to die if you continue like this. And the doctors put them on this diet. Okay? And they said, we're going to do this for a time until your heart get a chance. And by the way, when they do that, and it's amazing, until I had to see the study to see this. When you're on this diet, arteries in your heart that they thought will stay dead forever start reforming. Blood start flowing through those arteries. See these red arteries that supplies the heart, coronary artery? When you have a heart attack or heart event, they shut down, they die, and they have to bypass it because they're very important arteries. You need them. So they may do a stent where they take arteries from your legs or different part of your body and kind of bridge the gap, connects, the loose ends and make it flow. When you go on these type of dieting program, the body reforms, find a pathway to connect that. Okay, when we do studies, anatomy of people who actually are postmortem study of people who actually die after going through these programs, we see these connections restored. And we see the dead parts there kind of dying or recovering. Okay? So these are drastic things without drugs and surgery that takes over when you go on these type of programs. So they're drastic for a person that's gonna die. You understand? Okay, I think I'm finished. I want to ask a question there. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay. Any question? I know we've been asking questions, and anything we have talked about since Friday. Herbs. Okay. Herbs. When I cook for myself different from when I cook for my wife. When I cook for both of us, I cook differently. So I have 3 ways of cooking. Okay? For me, for her, for both of us. I'm the chef in the family. So that's what happens. So herbs. If you use a lot of real herbs like onions, garlic, turmeric, all those, sage, oregano, thyme. By the way, last year I did a seminar on that, okay? And in Jamaica we have a group of guys called the Rastafarian, and they cook not bland, with a lot of herbs, no salt. And you actually taste the food. And you enjoy the food. Okay? Now, you see, your body is still trying to adjust from your many years of liking the salt and the stuff. But after a while, when the body normalizes, you will notice a difference if you have too much salt or too much fat or too much sugar. Were there time when you actually was there a time when you actually had problem with sugar? Was there a time? Yeah, but there was a time when sugar was your thing. You had to have sugar, right? Okay, but now it's okay. Yeah. Yeah, so we get to a point in our life, if we change, our body will adjust and compensate. Yes. Okay. We discovered it's based on two things. It's based on what's going on naturally with our taste bud and what's going on with our determination in our mind. Okay? That is why some people can make a decision and no matter what, they force their body to respond in a certain way. However, naturally it takes several months. Sometimes it takes 6 months to a year. Depends on the, like, there's bitter, there's salt, there's sweet, there's unknown type thing. So there's a lot of different things that our tongue and because our tongue is our first, and by the way, this is what we know, and I mentioned that to you. If we were to move the sense, everything tastes the same. It does. And fresh, yeah. It does. Like, for example, we go to different places, go to the store and we buy our scallion, for example, green onions. We go to a garden, a farmer's garden in Florida, and we walk into the garden and we smell a different smell. When I cook with that, oh boy, it brings out the flavor in a way that's so powerful. Okay? And we're able to go there and pick it for free. So that's our garden. Okay? Yes. Okay. Part of that is fictitious and falsify. Okay? Because a lot of people are saying that, and when you do the analysis, we discover it's not so. Okay? But our body, some people's body, are intolerant to sugar, to starch, and what gluten is a unrefined or refined starch. Okay, so certain starch that are refined, and it's usually in pasta, white rice, sugar, that type of thing, and the theory is that over the years we never used to be non-fibrous carbohydrate eaters. When we started out, if you look at the history of food, and if you go to the Museum of Modern History or Natural History in Washington, D.C., they have a food museum there. I've been there, and it's very interesting. When we look at the history of that, a lot of the food we used to eat were not refined. But most of the food right now have been processed to the point where it lacks the fiber and the structure for the body to actually use in a rigorous way to convert and for us to do certain things properly. So when we eat, like mostly carbohydrates that's processed or fiber removed, we increase the gluten capacity of those. And over time, the body is not doing this right thing, and weaknesses occur, and celiac disease occur, and all of that stuff. For example, I know my youngest sister, she's a doctor. Sister, I hope you're listening. She actually went on a vegetarian diet. And I noticed that she was using pasta, white rice, nothing fibrous in her diet. And then she eventually had celiac disease because of that. Okay, where she can't have any type of gluten. Okay, so it's a combination of a lot of things. And by the way, we're still understanding that scientifically. However, as you know, the media and the ads and the producers have latched onto that and start producing stuff. Okay, we were somewhere once and we bought a bottle of water and it says gluten-free. Gluten-free? So the world has gone crazy with that. Okay? So, you just have to be educated. You cannot not be educated about what you eat. You must take the time. Yes. Okay. Sparkling water came about in two different ways. Sparkling water came about in its popularity because folks want to not drink sugar drink. So they carbonate the water or add a little zest to it and may add a little lemon flavor or some type of flavor that's artificial, by the way. Some they say natural, but it's actually, when they say natural products, there's some artificial. Because in the laboratory, we chemists, we mix things from petroleum products and call it artificial. Okay? So it's done so that your taste bud taste something. And there are people who can't drink water. We know people who die from not drinking water. Okay? Okay? And we beg them, drink water, drink water. And they died from not drinking water. They were dehydrated. They died from dehydration, from not drinking water. So sparkling water, have a little zest to it, maybe a little flavor, so that when you drink the water, you kind of feel as if you're drinking soda. It's like a transition. You may try that. Okay? But what sparkling water does is that it does something to the stomach that makes you want to belch. It makes you want to, it may cause irritation to the stomach. Okay, because there's gas, it introduces gas to the stomach. It may cause gas going this way and that way. Okay, so it's just a commercial thing that people like, but drink water. Yes. Okay. Vitamin C, fruits, and vegetables have what's called antioxidants in them. Pretty much what they are, they fight free radicals in the body. Okay? The body produces a lot of different ions when you eat food. So the body produces, when you eat food, water, gas, carbon dioxide, oxygen, and carbohydrate type food that nourish the body. Okay? However, from the processing of food, there's some extra ions, chemical, positive and negative charges that float around in the body. Those particles destroy cells, bombards and destroy cells, destroy your body. Okay? Fruits and vegetables, antioxidant, vitamin C is the main. For fruits, will actually neutralize that. So vitamin C neutralize any antioxidant, any type of free radicals in the body. And that's why it does that. So vitamin C is a very, very powerful antioxidant. Okay? But if you eat fruits and vegetables, you get it. You can drink orange juice and you get more than you need. Okay, so when you've been treated, if you drink orange juice, you'll get much more than you need. Any orange juice, okay, is one of the most powerful. It's also high in sugar. So orange juice is high in sugar, naturally, and it's high in vitamin C, a good antioxidant. However, if you eat an orange and drink some water, you get a more balance. Because there's fiber and there's other things in the folate and other things in the orange fruit, the whole thing that does its trick. An apple a day is good for you, but you must eat the skin. But to eat the skin, you got to wash it thoroughly, especially if it's not organic. Okay, because a lot of stuff on that skin. When we peel that skin, we see some really crazy chemicals on that skin that cancer causing. Okay, but it's there, they said, for your protection. Yes. Okay. Yeah. After World War II, a gentleman, forgot his name, got a Nobel Prize for discovering two things that the body, if it's in a condition, cancer cannot live in the body. Oxidation and if the body is alkaline. So the body is alkaline, that means water is neutral. Okay? Some foods are acidic, but when it goes in the body, it becomes alkaline. Okay? And you can go on the internet and get what those foods are. Very easy to do. Okay? However, the body must be slightly alkaline for you to thrive. If the body ever goes acidic, things start happening that will throw off your entire metabolic system. Okay? We have folks, doctor sent home to die, and I suggest to them, we need to, for cancer by the way, and they were taking chemotherapy. Some people take radiation, and it also affects on the body. With the chemotherapy people, when you lose your ear and all that stuff, we had a sister that was taking chemotherapy for like almost a year. She came to us, the doctor says, there's nothing else we can do. Okay? We did what we can do, but go home, do whatever you can, put your house in order, write a will, that type of thing. Okay? We suggest to her that she eats and food that were alkaline. Okay? That was probably 12 years ago. And she's still around. Her hair is all grown back. It's gray, but, it's all grown back. And she is robust. Quitman, Georgia, in this state, was that sister. Okay? So, we do know Nobel Prize, oxidative stress, and keeping your body alkaline. Now, you could get the body off sync with just stress alone, real stress. Okay? We do know there's a major factor. They're still studying that. So hopefully when I get to, if I'm around 2027, okay, I'll be able to have the research together. Because not only do I want to read, I want to actually talk to the specialists, visit the clinic, talk to what's going on, talk to patients, just so I can give you a good, scope of things. Talk to doctors all over the world, that type of thing. Because a lot of my students are all over the world doing different things and see what's going on there. Okay? But if you can keep your body alkaline, and some people ask, do I go and buy alkaline water or whatever? This is what I suggest. If your body's on oxidative stress, or you believe that your body is too acidic, this is what you need to do. This is half a liter. Get a liter of water. Get a lemon, just half a lemon. Squeeze it in that water, and it'll alkaline your body. Every day, drink that. Now, use a straw, because some people's teeth I have all my teeth after my first teeth. Okay? And I boast about that. Okay? Okay? If I were to drink, I don't drink alkaline water because I eat enough fruits and vegetables to balance my body. Okay? And when I test, my pH is good and all that stuff. Okay? So half a lemon in a liter of water with a straw, because it may damage your enamel, and you drink that every day, and your body will become alkaline and stay alkaline. You don't have to buy fancy water or very expensive things for that. Use a straw when you're drinking alkaline lemon water, because the lemon will throw out or damage your alkaline, your teeth, your enamel. Okay? Your teeth can go against any unsalt, but once you put lemon and acidic stuff in it, it starts damaging your enamel. Sugar, damage very, very fast. Okay? That little innocent sugar there will do damage to your enamel, your teeth, the outside of your white, or anything else. Thank God I was never a sugar eater. So I have all my teeth. So when I go to the dentist once a year, it costs me more than most people because of all my teeth. I discovered that accidentally. The more teeth you have, the more money it costs to care for your teeth. A little joke here. My mother, she came to live with us after my father died. She was disabled, so we got her, and she came to live with us. So when my mother came to us, she had no medical insurance. So I got that for her. Then I got her glasses, because she needed prescription glasses. I got her drugs because she had cardiac and diabetes and a lot of different problems. So to make sure she got her drugs, I was paying without insurance $600 a month just for her drugs. Once we got insurance, Medicare took the slack and didn't cost me much. Then after I did her medical, her vision, and the drugs thing, I sat down with Mom in her room and I said, Mom, okay, now let's focus on your teeth. My mother started laughing. And I had to wait like almost 10 minutes before she was able to catch her, but she said, Courtney, I have no teeth. I didn't know my mother was as fault as teeth. And here I am with all my teeth, and my mother said, she looks small all the time. I thought she had her teeth. Never knew. She didn't have any teeth. It was all false teeth. She was a sugar lover from every time I know her. Okay, all right. Another question before we wrap this up? Okay, Brenda? Oh, sorry, let me just do quick one thing, because folks asked me that, so I'm going to go to that question. The Adventist study in California found that the risk of coronary heart disease death was lower for the Adventists in California, their risk of getting a heart disease was lower than the rest of California. Okay. A study found that the prevalence of diabetes was higher in non-vegetarian than vegetarians. So when we looked at Adventists and we look at vegetarians and non-vegetarian, we found that diabetes runs higher in non-vegetarian. So if you're a vegetarian, you have some protection there. The study found in the history of diabetes that was associated with mental state examination. In other words, diabetes we found was actually affecting your mental capacity, your mental health. Okay? Mental health. We found that diabetes was affecting that when we did Adventists with diabetes. Okay? All right, that was it, my sis.